Good morning, my yogi crew. Thanks for joining us for beginner yoga for us CrossFitters. Today we're going to be doing quite a few stretches for the lower back. It's a particular issue that I have is a tight lower back, so hopefully you enjoy this. And remember, if there's anything that you need help with in a yoga session, just reach out to me and I'll set up a flow that addresses your particular issue. My lovely assistant is Travis, who's sitting back here. And I think we'll go ahead and get started. So just give me a second to get off to the side here. And while I'm doing that, try and find a spot, a blank spot on the wall that you'll be able to use during the session. As always, if you have a yoga block or something that resembles a block, that can be very helpful. And if you have a yoga strap, if you don't have a strap, you can always use a towel. That works just as well. And we'll meet back here in about a minute, okay? Thanks. Once you have your stuff together, you can recline on your back like Travis is. And just take a few moments to relax. And now let's slowly move into Supta Bandha Konasana, bringing the soles of your feet to touch, your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly. Let your knees just gently splay open. And get in touch with your breathing, taking nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really push that breath on the exhale to make that ha sound. Making sure on every breath in that you're filling up every square inch of your lungs. And pushing all that old air out. Nice fresh air. Getting that oxygen into our bloodstream. Preparing our body for what's to come. Hug your knees into your chest gently. And then put your palms on your knees and let's make clockwise circles with your knees. There you go. Rolling out the lower back. And let's move counterclockwise. Hugging your knees back into your chest. Give them a little bit of a squeeze. And then let your knees fall to the left-hand side. Bring your arms out in a T pose from your body. And when you feel ready, you can look over that right hand. Staying with breath, nice deep breaths in. Full breaths out. Make sure to keep that right shoulder grounded. Hugging your knees back into your chest. Give them a little squeeze again. And now let your knees fall to the right hand side. Arms out in a T pose from your body. And gaze over that left hand when it feels right. Again, trying to keep that left shoulder down. Staying deep in your breathing. Hugging your knees back into your chest. Little squeeze. Let's do a full body stretch, head to toe. Point those little toes and fingers. Completely open up. Yawn if it feels good. And then slowly make your way up to all fours. Let's do a few rounds of cat and cow. So on the inhale, drop your belly and look up to the sky. On your exhale, round your back and look down. Follow your own breath here. Staying with cat and cow. Let's do 5 rounds of cat and cow. Exaggerating the movement with each and every round. And coming back to a neutral spine whenever you've finished your 5. So neutral spine is a nice flat back. See how Travis's gaze is just slightly down to the mat in front of him? It's a straight line all the way down your spine. Your wrists are directly below your shoulders, and your knees should be coming directly out of that hip joint. Bring your right hand up to the sky. Look up to that top hand as you open your chest. Open a little bit more and a little more. Now take that right hand, pass it behind your left wrist, coming down onto your right shoulder. And you should feel a pretty good shoulder stretch here, but if you need a little bit more, you can put that left hand behind your back like Travis's. And then you can think about rotating that shoulder open and that chest open towards the sky. There you go. Nice deep breaths. One more breath here. Making your way back up to all fours. Set yourself back up in that neutral spine position. And now bring your left hand all the way up to the sky. Look up to that top hand as you rotate your chest open towards the ceiling. And your hand goes back a little bit more. And a little bit more. Now pass your left hand behind your right wrist, coming down onto that left shoulder. And as on the other side, if you want a little bit more, you can bring your right hand behind your back and then rotate your chest open towards the sky. Last breath here. Making your way back onto all fours when you finished. Back to that neutral spine. Curl your toes under, push back into a downward facing dog. Walk your dog from side to side. Now try to reach down through your heels, lifting your sit bones up and back. Try and maintain a straight line through your spine. And if you need to soften your knees ever so slightly to help get those heels down, you can do that. Make sure you're keeping your weight in your finger joints and not in your wrist joint. Shift forward into a high plank position. Keep your bottom in line with the rest of your spine to your heels. Come down into a low plank position. Your knees are always available. Tuck your elbows in at your sides. Push up into upward facing dog. Ideally, knees lifted, but they can be on the ground if you want them to. Open your chest towards the front of the room, so shoulders back. Pull back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale. Ha. Now I want you to take little tiny baby steps and bring your feet all the way up to your hands. Little tiny baby steps. Try and leave your hands on the ground as long as possible. Travis has long legs and a shorter upper body, so that's a little harder for him. But just let your arms hang down if you can't touch the floor. There you go. Grab elbow to elbow and gently sway from side to side. Releasing your hands back down to the earth. Let's bring our hands to our shins for a half lift position. As you inhale, exhale, fold. Straighten those legs, put your hands behind your calves. There you go. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Release your hands and roll up slowly to a mountain pose. Stack vertebrae on top of vertebrae as you come up here. Tuck your belly button in. Allow your shoulders to fall back and down. Deep breath in. Exhale, ha. Reach your hands up to the sky. Keep those fingers alive and active, like they have a purpose up there. And then do a little tiny back bend here. Just a little one. Just getting warmed up. Coming back up to center. Lean to the left. Just a little lean. Back up to center. Lean to the right. Back up to center. And now let's do that little back bend again. Looking up to the sky as you bend back. Coming back up to your mountain pose, arms at your side. Relax those shoulders down into your spine. Hands to the earth, step back, and let's go through your flow. So high plank, breathe in. Low plank, breathe out. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Come up onto your tippy toes and then sink your heels down. Again. There you go. And keep doing that as long as it feels good. All right, now really sink those heels down, lifting those sit bones up and back, pushing into your finger joints. Nice straight line from your hands down your spine. Bring your right leg up to the sky for three-legged dog, driving that heel up as your toes point down. And what's most important here is keeping your shoulders even in front. Now bring your right foot to meet your right hand. And let's settle into a runner's lunge position. So you can keep that back knee up off the ground, but you just get the benefit of the stretch even if your knee is down. So Travis, why don't you drop your knee? And now from here, if you feel enough stretch through your inner thigh, you can stay where you are, or you can come down to a block. Or if you're super flexy, you can even bring your elbows all the way down to the ground. Just kind of listen to your body and what it needs today. Nice deep stretch here. I think you should try the block, Trav. That's a no. I also want you to check in with your knee position. Make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle or just behind your ankle. You don't want to let your knee get out in front of your ankle. It just puts a little too much strain on that joint, and you'll definitely feel it if you have any knee issues. Now let's see if we can open up onto the knife edge of that foot. There you go. Little hip rotation. Bringing that foot back up to flat. And then let's lift that back knee, rotating your back foot down to a 45-degree angle. Arms out in front of you. And using your core, lift up slowly into Warrior One. Sinking deep into that front thigh. Squaring your shoulders and your hips to the front. Keeping that back leg straight and strong. And try and distribute your weight evenly on your feet. Open up into a Warrior Two position, staying nice and deep in that front thigh. Keeping your front hand and back hand at the same level. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior, looking up to the top hand. Sinking deeper into that front thigh. Coming back into a Warrior Two position. Straighten that front leg. Reach your right arm out in front of you as far as you can. And now drop it to your shin and bring your left hand up to the sky. Keep that front leg straight. And the idea here is to get those shoulders stacked one on top of the other. So sometimes that means that your right hand needs to move up your shin just a little bit more. And then that top hand can go back as you open your chest towards the sky. One more breath here. Cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Step back and go through your flow. High plank, breathe in. Low plank, breathe out. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head no. Another yes. Let's do another deep breath in. And exhale. Bring your left leg up to the sky. Drive that heel up as your toes point down, keeping your shoulders even in front as you drive that heel a little higher and a little higher. Now bring your left foot to meet your left hand. Pick it up and put it there if you need to. Check in with that left knee, making sure that it's stacked above your ankle or slightly behind your ankle. And then you can drop that back knee and settle into your version of a runner's lunge. So remember, you can stay up on your hands here if you feel enough. You can come down to a block, or you can even come down elbows to the earth. Find your position and stick with it. And we're going to do 4 breaths here. You should be around your last breath. And as you finish your last exhale, let's open up onto the knife edge of that foot. There you go. Bringing the flat of the foot to the earth. Lift that back knee, rotating your back foot down to a 45-degree angle. Arms out in front of you and lift up into warrior 1. Sink deep into that front thigh. Think about drawing your belly button in and up. There you go. Shoulders and hips squared towards the front of your mat. Open up into warrior 2. Now our shoulders and hips are squared towards the side wall. Trying to keep those arms level front to back. That back leg straight and strong. Flip your palm, reverse your warrior. Staying deep in that front thigh as you look up to your top hand. That hand should be up with power. Coming back into a warrior 2 position. Now straighten that front leg. Reach your left hand forward as far as possible and drop it to your shin as your right hand goes up to the sky. You can also drop your hand to a block, a tall block, if that's more helpful. Remember, the goal here is to stack those shoulders one on top of the other to begin with. And then once you get there, see if you can open your chest towards the ceiling. Letting that top hand go back. Last breath here. Really opening up as you exhale. Cartwheel your hands down to the earth. Step back and go through your flow. High plank, breathe in. Low plank, breathe out. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Let's pull back gently into a child's pose position. So that's knees wide on your mat, big toes to touch, arms out in front of you. Give yourself a little rest. As you inhale, think about sinking that bottom back and down. As you exhale, reach your arms out further in front of you. Look at that nice straight line Travis has from his fingertips all the way down his spine. Two more breaths here. And when you finish that last breath, I want you to come into a high plank position. And then it's your choice whether you want to do another flow or if you want to pull back into a downward facing dog, but move with your own breath. Travis always opts for the extra vinyasa flow. Now let's walk your hands back to your feet, hands back to feet. Allow your upper body to hang. And then roll up slowly into a mountain pose. Interlacing your hands behind you. Fold forward, allowing your hands to rinse off your back. And try and get your legs as straight as possible. There you go. Let them rinse a little further. Get those legs a little straighter. And then keeping your hands interlaced, come back up to a standing position. And now drive them down your spine. And we're going to do a big back bend here. So see if you can see another point in your ceiling or even maybe the wall behind you as you go back. And then slowly come back up to standing. Release your hands and shake it out. It's an interesting shake. And now see if you can find your way over to your wall. We don't have a wall here, so we're going to simulate with a box. It's definitely easier against a wall, but since Travis is a pro, this shouldn't be any issue for him whatsoever. And once you're over at your wall, make sure you guys have a good view here. Yeah, that's perfect. Once you guys are over at your wall, bring that yoga strap or that towel with you. And then I want you to lay down on your back and bring your bottom as close to the wall as possible. Sometimes it can take a second here just to get set up. Once your bottom is against the wall, just let your legs go straight up in the air. And we're going to start just by relaxing here for a few breaths. Is it harder without a wall, Trav?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that it's harder, it's just you have nothing supporting the back here.
Yeah. Yeah. You get a little better stretch against the wall, I think. That's okay. We'll make do.
It still feels good.
He says it still feels good. Just let your lower back relax here. Last breath here. And now get your strap and put your strap around your right foot. Try and get it right on the ball of your foot. And I want you to pull that foot away from the wall, straight away from the wall. Yeah. It looks a little tough today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have leverage. You know, like I can push on the wall and my leg.
Yeah. And now open that leg up to the side. Travis is incredibly hip flexible, so his foot can almost touch the ground. Probably could if you really tried. Yep, there it goes. But for the rest of us, our foot is likely still up off the ground and along the wall. It's also a great exercise for hamstrings and hips. Loosens everything up. Now bring that foot back up, away from the wall for one breath. And you can take the strap off of that one. Let's go ahead and put it on your left foot. So step one is just pulling that foot away from the wall. One more breath here. Now open that foot up to the side. Travis's foot is in my Mexican heather.
The first time I've been in Mexico, you know what I mean?
I won't repeat that. Remembering to breathe here, especially if you find a little bit of discomfort maybe with the hips opening up. Send those exhales towards those hips. Bringing that foot back up, but away from the wall for one breath. And then you can release that foot. Now bring the bottoms of your feet to touch, kind of like yeah, exactly. Travis has it. Bottoms of feet to touch, almost like you're in a cross-leg easy sit position, but your feet are touching instead. And you can put your hands on your knees or at your sides, whatever feels good. We're going to stay here for 4 breaths. This should be your last breath here. And when you finish that last breath, you can just send your feet straight up the wall, legs and feet straight up the wall. Now using your right hand, grab onto the inside of your right foot. There you go. And now we're going to just kind of pull that foot down, pushing the thigh parallel with the earth. Travis, of course, can make it completely touch. Bring it up closer to your chest, Trav, rather than against the wall. No. Yes. And just use the inside. Yep, there you go. Better. For most of us, our knee won't be touching the ground. That's okay. And now let that leg move back up the wall. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, grabbing onto the inside of your foot and pulling that foot down to try and get your thigh parallel with the earth. Let that foot move back up the wall. We're just going to take one breath here. And then I want you to grab the insides of both your feet and pull them both down at the same time. There you go. Last breath here. Moving your feet back up the wall as you finish that last breath. Now I want you to grab onto that right foot entirely and pull it towards your chest. There you go. Moving that foot back up the wall, same thing to your left foot. Grab it entirely and pull it into your chest. Remember that strap or towel is always available, so if it isn't possible for you to reach to your feet like Travis is, you can always use that towel or strap to help you. Moving that foot back up the wall, one breath here. Now let's grab onto both feet and pull them into your chest. There you go. Last breath here. Moving those feet back up onto the wall. Allowing yourself one breath here. And then make your way back to your mat and onto your belly. Arrange whatever you need to, rearrange stuff. Once you're on your belly, just have your hands at your side, palms facing up. Rest on a cheek. Switch to the other cheek. And then bring your forehead to the center of the mat. Bring your palms face down up near your low ribs. And we're going to do a little cobra here. So with cobra, your hands, your head, and your upper body kind of float off the floor as you inhale. Inhaling up, exhale, release. Try and keep those feet grounded as you inhale up, exhale, release. Make sure you're looking down to your mat as you inhale up, exhale, release. Bend those knees, windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Now bring your forearms to the mat, palms flat, and just lift up gently into a Sphinx pose. Think about relaxing through your lower spine. And make sure to lift up out of your shoulders here, like Travis is. Don't let your head sink down in between them. Release the tension in your bottom. And open up your chest. Relax back down to the earth. Windshield wiper those legs from side to side. Now bring your palms face down to the far corners of your mat and lift up into seal. And when you're ready for a little bit more, walk those hands back. Same thing applies here. We want to try and find relaxation through our spine, releasing the tension in your bottom. And if you want just a little bit more, you can lift your feet and bring your head back. See if you can touch your head to your feet. Travis is about 2 feet away. You might be closer. Relax it back down to the earth. Windshield wiper those legs from side to side. And now pull back slowly into your rabbit's pose. Bring your knees together, sitting your bottom down on your heels and reaching back for those heels. Make sure you don't have any weight in your head or neck here. Your head's just kind of gently resting on the ground. It's not supporting your body. And if it feels good, you can kind of lift your bottom ever so slightly and round your back. And now coming up slowly, I want you to come to a seated position here, kind of sitting back on those heels. There you go. If you find this uncomfortable, you can always put the block under your bottom between your heels. It'll help give you a little lift. Interlace your hands behind you and open up your chest towards the front of the room. Thinking about that nice straight spine. See if you can grab elbow to elbow. There you go, even better. Now open your chest. And now interlace those hands behind you and allow your arms to rinse off your back while staying upright. There you go. And grab your strap. Probably need it. Hold your strap in your right hand. Right hand up to the sky. Left hand behind you. And now see how close you can get your hands up that strap. You can kind of see Travis is walking his hands up a little further and a little further. He's keeping his chest open towards the front of the room. If you happen to be flexible in this manner, you're going to be able to actually let go of the strap and just interlace your fingers. It's important that wherever you are, you open that chest towards the front of the room. We don't want you hunched over. Last breath here. And release. Same thing on the other side. So we're going to get that strap and bring that strap in our left hand up to the sky. Right hand comes behind and grabs the tail of that strap. Opening up your shoulders and chest and seeing if you can walk those fingers closer and closer to one another. Last breath here. Go ahead and release. And I think it might feel good to do a little cat and cow. So let's just come to all fours and just do 3 rounds of cat and cow, following your breath. Pushing back into a downward facing dog as you finish that last breath. Then I want you to look to your hands and try and jump all the way up to the front of your mat. There you go. And sit on your bottom and lay all the way back. Big stretch, arms overhead, pointed toes to pointed fingers. And then hug your knees into your chest. Grab onto the bottoms of your feet and do a little happy baby, rolling side to side. And if you feel like you need anything else, we did a lot of inversion type poses, but if you need a headstand, if you need a spine twist, anything you need, you can go ahead and do it now. Otherwise, you can relax into Savasana, feet spread wide on the mat, arms at your side, palms facing up. And I know that especially if you're watching this in recording, it's incredibly tempting to just turn off the recording now and go about your daily business. But this Savasana is just as important as any of the other poses in yoga. This is a pose of complete relaxation, which tends to be the hardest. So let go of your day. Don't worry about your hair, it looks fine. Doesn't matter that your shirt came up and your belly's hanging out. No one cares. Just relax into Savasana and concentrate instead on pushing thoughts out of your mind. So when that grocery list comes up, bam, knock it out of there. You hear a kid crying in the background, bam, knock that thought out of there. You forgot to feed the dog, whack, get rid of that thought. Just stay in this moment, in the present. And if you're lucky enough to do yoga outside, like us on a day like today, See what you can hear around you. Birds, a frog, maybe a bug kind of buzzing past. Don't look at the screen, we're still here. Just relax. And now start to bring a little awareness back into your body by giving your fingers and toes a wiggle. And keeping your eyes closed, roll onto your right side for fetal pose. And again, with your eyes closed, come up into that cross-leg easy sit position. Hands to heart center for the love and light within me, bows and respects the love and light within you. Together we say, namaste. How was it, Trav? Good? Thank you guys for joining us today for yoga. Hopefully we'll see you again next Saturday. Enjoy your week. Have a great day.